Good morning and welcome to the Tom Brokaw News Center here at Universal City. I'm Conan. Nolan, thanks for joining us. Well, this past week we got a civics lesson on the first order of business for the United States House of Representatives. And not since the Civil War has it taken so long to try to come up with a leader of that body. And what does this mean, not just for the next 2 years and the leadership of the Republican Party in the House, but the institution of the Speaker and legislative government at the federal level going forward? Joining us is Young Kim, Congresswoman from the 40th Congressional District. That's Orange County, part of Riverside County, Anaheim Hills, Orange, Mission Viejo. Congresswoman, she joins us from Washington. Thanks for taking the time. Listen, I'm interested. We saw you in some of the cutaways this past week. Friday, it was wild. You had, of course, the confrontation with Kevin McCarthy and Matt Gaetz, the bomb thrower on the far right. You had Mike Rogers, your colleague from Alabama, who had to be held back as a result of this sort of confrontation, the heated moment. What was it like for you?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Conan. Yes, undoubtedly, it has been a very, very long week. But what we've seen this week is democracy at work. It was intense leading up to the Friday votes, which led to the Saturday morning. But democracy is messy by design. But it's important if we truly want to be a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, as it provides transparency, which is what Americans want, and that's what we gave them. And this is a precursor to what they can expect going forward for the next 2 years under Republican leadership, under Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
I'm interested, though. Kevin McCarthy's lieutenants were negotiating with the 20 who were trying to keep him from getting the speakership. Did you do any lobbying on your own on the floor? Did you ever go up to Matt Gaetz and say, listen, you made your point, let's fall in line?
Well, that's what Kevin McCarthy and his lieutenants did. There were plenty of people in the leadership that were trying to get us to where we are today. And I'm glad that is over. We have elected a speaker, and now we're ready to get to work.
Some have concerned that Mr. McCarthy gave away too much to the very right-wing members of the caucus of the Republican conference. You represent a bipartisan district. I mean, you're in a purple district. Are you at all concerned that people like Mr. Gaetz and others, Lauren Boebert, there's Mike Rogers being held back from Alabama, are you at all concerned that they could have too much sway over your caucus and this next Congress?
Well, actually, you are right. They were having a lot of negotiations leading up to Monday through this entire week. But ultimately, what my colleagues who were holding out until the last minute was asking for is a process that is more transparent and that would allow our ranking file members to have input on legislation, which we did. Many of my colleagues who were insisting on changes were working in good faith to come to an agreement. And I think now that we've gone through that process, we will have a better opportunity to continue to lead, and things will be better and smoother moving forward. We got all of the kinks out of the way early on, so you can expect us to be moving forward with the new rules that's in place, with the new leadership that is in place, and the rules that we're going to come up with, it's going to be even stronger than what we started with. And under Pelosi, actually, she centralized too much power in the hands of the few, and that's going to change, starting the next 2 years.
Right. The rules package comes on Monday. But so to be specific, you aren't concerned, for example, about the rule to vacate the chair. That is, one person on the floor can call for a vote to remove the speaker. Does that not give some of them greater clout? I mean, Kevin McCarthy said he would not agree to that, and eventually he did.
Well, I don't, as long as Speaker McCarthy is okay, even if it brings up by any one of the members, and it could be done by a Democrat or a Republican. I don't want to speculate this, but I really hope that the motion to vacate will not be abused. And so much so that even Speaker Pelosi got rid of that. Over the past 2 years, I have worked with Democrats and Republicans alike to get things done. So I'm ready to get to work and continue that.
And finally, President Biden visits the border later on today in El Paso, Texas. What is your assessment, or your colleague's assessment, of the package he's put forth on immigration reform?
Look, we've all seen the images of what we saw at the border. There's nothing fair, humane, or compassionate about the Biden administration's border policies. The images speak for themselves. I'm glad that 2 years later, President Biden is finally realizing that there is crisis at the border. Even my California Governor, Gavin Newsom, has already been to the border. So I hope President Biden's visit today will see that there is crisis, and we need to come together so we can work on together finding solutions. I have bills ready to be introduced to deal with this, and plus many more.
The Honorable Young Kim, a member of the United States House of Representatives from Orange County's 40th District. Congresswoman, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.